All right, guys. So today I want to talk about an account score and awareness score. There has been some misconception and people overselling the idea of this, but it's not complicated. Super is really easy to understand. So let's jump right into it. So the account score is basically what most teams have been using for the last probably 20 years, right? What this looks like is you have a list of companies divided between tier one, tier two, and tier three. Okay, how they would qualify it is the magic, right? How they would qualify it is basically they would hand over to the sales team, or this would be a task for the RevOps team. They would get a list of companies, probably from Apollo, enrich that list with industries, revenue size, revenue amount, company size, and basically prioritize based on firmographics. And this is the key thing that you guys need to understand here: firmographics. Okay, so basically company criteria that are fixed. Right now, this can be fully automated and even going for deep enrichment in Clay. Okay, so Clay would basically visit the website, search for mentions of specific tools, pain points, qualification criterias. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So now Clay is doing a good job um, on creating a better target list that's not reliant on salespeople manually doing the work. I think this is huge. Okay, now the awareness score is basically something that will rank companies by their intent, to purchase. I will not remember the exact criteria, but you can think of this like this would be um, cold, warm, aware, and the last step, I don't know, decision, for example. Sorry, would be decision, right? So you want to get that list of companies, okay, from here, and qualify them in here, okay? Some companies would be tier three, and potentially at the decision stage. Some others will be tier three and at the code stage. So this should not be handed over to any type of outreach. So the combination of the account score with the awareness score is basically what is going to decide what type of outreach do we do for a particular company. Okay. Now that I shared the idea behind it, let me go over Clay and show you in practice what this looks like. So this is it. So in here we have, let me see if I can put that together. So in here we have the list of companies. Okay, those are fixed. We got this list from Clay. We could get the same list from Apollo, whatever. Same thing. Employee count. You're doing some further enrichment, checking what type of ad networks they use, ad span, and this is going into or score into assigning a tier for each one of those companies. Okay, so this is one thing. The other thing is the awareness. Okay, and how do we calculate awareness? Basically through signals. So if a company is showing a signal of intent to buy, they should score higher. Okay, so for this particular client, what we did is we have quite a few signals running against and checking against that list of companies on our routine. So every week it would check that company for a particular signal. Okay, in this case, you're checking if they're running offline media like offline advertisement, so outdoors, TV shows, things like that. We're also checking if competitors are mentioning that particular company. We're also checking if our ICP within those companies are engaging with competitors. We're also checking hiring. Okay, so if they're hiring for specific roles, and all of that is taken into consideration to let's see if I have the actual math. Oh, there you go. So this is the score. Okay, and by the way, in combination to that, we also have enrichment, deep enrichment to further add a score. And in here, we basically calculated, and at the end, we have the final score. Okay, and this is the awareness score, and you can see side by side, and this is the tier score. So imagine how high this company should be prioritized, because it is a tier one with the highest awareness score. This is a tier two with very high awareness score. So this is something that should be handed to an executive for a one-on-one outreach type of message. And this a tier two with high intent could be delegated to a sales team. And this, for example, a tier three, which should not be prioritized with somewhat of a high score, could be used on a cold email campaign. So you see that the goal here is to have a matrix, okay, where let's go back, where we have tiers, where we have tiers, we have awareness. Okay, so the higher a company that is a low tier in this case. Okay, let's do tier one, tier two, and tier three. Actually, let's do the opposite: 3, 2, 1. If a company is high tier, meaning like a good company, so it'll be here with a high intent. This is super priority. If a company is low tier, this should not be outreached. Okay, and the higher you go, further to the right, the better it gets. And this is pretty much it. So this is some sort of matrix for decision on how you are going to outreach a particular company. And this is how we do it. And I think it makes sense. If you guys have any questions, this may be too technical, but yeah, if you have any questions, do let me know. Thank you.